PTI, the Press Trust of India, Cyrus Mistry, the former Tata Group chairman, has died. The PTI said, I quote the agency here, Cyrus Mistry dies in a road accident at Maharashtra's Palghar, which is near Mumbai. So this is, remember, tragic news coming in. Cyrus Mistry is the former Tata chairperson, and this is a developing update that we have got for you. We'll try and get further details into exactly what happened with this tragic accident. But what we are being told right now is that Cyrus Mistry, former Tata chairperson, group chairman, has been killed, and this in a road accident at Maharashtra's Palghar. What exactly led to that terrible accident? I'll try and get further details. But it's a tragic news coming in that Cyrus Mistry, the former Tata chairperson, has passed away. Remember, he had also been embroiled in a mega court case also with regard to the Tatas. But as of now, the shocking news coming in that we can confirm to you that Cyrus Mistry has died in a car accident. Right, so we'll try and stay on with this news coming in. Remember, Cyrus Mistry, born in 1968, and he was the chairperson of the Tata Group, which of course, remember, is a mega Indian business conglomerate. And while we can also only confirm to you right now that the death has happened in a car accident, what exactly led to it? Were there any more passengers with him? That is still unclear. But Cyrus Mistry no more is what we can confirm to you at this moment. A terrible news coming in. We'll try and get perhaps a likely statement coming in from the Tatas as well. But this in the background of this tragic news. Indian businessman Cyrus Mistry, he's also, remember, scion of a wealthy business family in Mumbai. So he was a very big known name with regard to the Tata Group. He was also a former chairperson. He was embroiled in a battle of remaining as a chairperson or not. That also had gone on for several years. And this, remember, it was primarily even in the Supreme Court, the plea that had come with regard to the removal of Cyrus Mistry as the Tata chairperson. That had been going on for several months, had been cleared eventually, but it's a massive loss, clearly, to the Indian business community. I want to quickly go across to Siddharth Zarabi for the latest on that. Siddharth, this is absolutely a tragic news. So what do we know so far? And what does it really mean as his loss for the Indian business community as well?
Pooja, it's obviously a very tragic bit of news that has come in this Sunday afternoon. And according to PTI, Cyrus Mistry, who was around 54 years old,
yes,
is said to have died in a road accident. The circumstances of that accident and one more death that is being spoken about at this moment along with Mr. Mistry will come out, but very clearly the former chairman of Tata Sons and the only time a non-Tata
yes,
was ever the head of the Tata Group has passed away. So obviously quite a bit of a shocking development this Sunday afternoon, Pooja.
Siddharth, can you possibly tell us a little more about Cyrus Mistry by himself? We know that there was this, for the longest time, a sort of tussle between whether he stays as a chairperson or not after he was removed. It had even reached the court. Who are in his family? Anything about his personal background, about the family members at this point? Any details that you can give us about Cyrus Mistry?
From the publicly available information, Mr. Mistry was, as we all know, the sixth chairman of the Tata Group. And there is, of
yes,
course, a business history to the group that Mr. Mistry himself comes from. And he had Irish citizenship,
okay,
and was very clearly someone who, during his period as for 4 years roughly when he was the chairman of the Tata Group, tried to conduct the group and its business in a very different manner. From what we know, he has been educated, he had studied overseas, including in the United Kingdom, and for the Shapurji Palghar Mistry
yes,
group, which is one of the oldest business groups in India, and has had a very old and a very interconnected relationship with the Tata Group. Two businesses that are part of storied Indian corporate culture, and which were set up in the times when Bombay and the Parsi businessmen, as some would like to describe them, had a very significant role to play. It's part of business folklore as to what happened, the fallout, and how Mr. Cyrus Mistry was evicted in a way from the Tata Sons chairmanship, and then subsequent developments. But that's perhaps for some other time. But very clearly a loss for his group, for his family, and in some ways also a rather tragic turn of events ever since Mr. Mistry hit the headlines in some ways several years back after the ouster from the Tata Group.
So born to a Parsi family, has been living in Maharashtra. But Siddharth, for many who may not be aware about how well known he was and how connected he was to the business community, and he was, as you also already have just mentioned, very few times, a rare time perhaps, that a non-Tata, so to say, had become the chairperson of the Tata Group. So that also is a part of his legacy.
Well, that's absolutely right. And, his legacy in trying to reshape the Tata Group and the reasons for which non-Tata came to the fore are again part of business. But for the wider sort of public, for the consumers of the Tata Group, salt to software conglomerate and India's largest, most storied industrial empire, Mr. Mistry represented a very clear move away from promoters family running a group, which is part of Indian corporate culture in some ways. And in a way, he was also a part of a business family. He was also part of a promoter. The Charoti Palghar Group has had a stake in the Tata Group, but he did not come across as someone who was a founder's appointee. He was in many ways his own person, and that is what he tried to do in terms of changing the culture in the Tata Group, a Tata Group which because of its history, because of its long business connections, and the fact that they operate in so many sectors, had a certain way of doing business, and that obviously led to certain clashes and a difference in sort of strategy and execution. But very clearly, if we were to go into his contribution, he brought the spotlight on several aspects of the Tata Group's operations, and I'm reminded of what had happened many years back when Mr. Ratan Tata himself had taken over. There was an old guard, and Mr. Tata had to do a lot of considerable heavy lifting.
Siddharth, I request you to stay on. 54 years old, born in 1968, Cyrus Mistry, the former chairman of the Tata Group.